Boom! We are back on the Culture Crusade. We're going to be talking about Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. The finale just dropped the other day, and I freaking loved it. I love this show. I whipped out a sword just for the occasion. Actually, I whipped out lots of swords. But we're going to be talking about that and other random things, but there are things to talk about. There are definitely things to talk about. I know Mike has comments to share as well. But before we even get to that, because, you know, people will be rocking up, you know, they're arriving, they're getting there. How's your week been? Speaking of crazy stuff going on, you had a good week?
Who are you talking to?
All of you, everyone.
Oh, I'll let John go first.
Great week. My daughter turned 13. We went bowling and had pizza. So I've got 2 teenagers now. And my oldest son, guys, finally finished tech school. He's done. I can be here for like the whole streams now because I don't have to leave in the middle of it to go pick him up anymore.
Right.
And
What's your daughter's birthday?
Her birthday was actually Friday, but because I was working a 16-hour shift, we went ahead and celebrated it today.
What was the date on Friday? Because my son's birthday was the 17th. We just had a birthday party yesterday, so actually I'm kind of glad I didn't end up on FNT because that would have been just a lot. A birthday party and then that.
Yeah. Crazy stuff is going on in Mexico. Have you guys seen
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, my brother-in-law actually lives in what the hell's that city that all that crap's happening in? He's in Jalisco. He's in one of those cities. Actually, I shouldn't dox him. He hates it when people dox him. He doesn't even like.
Yeah, and it seems like they're actively hunting Americans down there too.
Oh
yeah, and we talked to, or he doesn't have any power in his house, so he's just like sitting there in the dark. It's kind of scary.
I mean, so in case people don't know, haven't been watching the news, the US and Mexico, it seems like there was a joint operation to take out one of the biggest cartel leaders, gang leaders, right? He got killed, and the cartel has now gone ballistic, going full military, attacks.
As far as I can tell, he got killed, and his family, his closest family, is in custody.
I mean, these cartel guys are monsters, absolute psychopath monsters that have their claws in control of like Mexican government and everything. It is a hellhole. And like the Mexican, elections and stuff, so many get assassinated by the cartels when they don't play. And so then they get puppet leaders that are just there to pander to the cartels. They basically have a puppet control over things. Honestly, at this point, the US just needs to come in and wipe the slate clean and make it a puppet state at this point. It's so bad. And especially what we're seeing now, the cartels, they have military grade kind of, soldiers.
Yeah, that's why it wouldn't be quite as easy as just going in and taking out,
the US has air power, and so they would just wipe the slate so easily.
I mean, Venezuela they had a lot going on too, and look what happened there. We just went in and did what we wanted.
Yeah.
And
the cartels have
on them.
Yeah. The cartels have foot soldiers and lots of guns and stuff, but they don't have heavy ordnance and firepower like the actual US military. But they've basically gone martial full occupation. They've occupied the airport. They're looking for Americans. They've been trashing the street, burning cars, and everything like that, hunting down Americans. It's pretty crazy. But I'm like, if anything, I hope this makes the US wake up and just because it's actually nuts what's going on. But that's been interesting to watch and also terrible. Holy, this year, man, gosh,
it's been a year, and it's only 6 weeks in.
I know, but I can't stand evil cartels running things like it's just so that has been something this week. It's
an interesting situation because like the cartels have been keeping Americans safe down there. Like there's my like I said, my brother-in-law lives there, and my nephew lived there for like 12 years. So the tourist zones, the cartels police them the way the mafia used to police Las Vegas, right? Because they want the tourism money. That's the biggest, other than drugs and human trafficking. That's where Mexico gets all its money, is from American tourism. So they had I don't remember how long ago it was, but they're like one time one American tourist like got nabbed by a cartel member, and like the tourism in that town just died. So the cartels made an example of the guy that did it, and they're like, Americans in tourist cities are freaking completely 100% off limits because they want the money. So like my brother-in-law felt like super safe down there, and he would never go like even a mile out of town because like the rest of Mexico is a complete freaking yeah. So but yeah, with this happening, man, they're just, it looks like they're just going after everything with an American label on it. Costco, Arco, like everything.
Yeah, they burnt down the Costco. That's right.
Yeah.
Crap. Like it's gone.
The hot dogs.
Man, it's gone pretty extreme. I guess.
Now, did you see the response by the Mexican president?
No.
May have been one of the. I'm just gonna say it. This is what happens when you put some women in power. I'm gonna look it up, because this was disgusting and egregious, and just goes to show exactly the kind of puppet leader that she is. A lot of people really suspected that she was, in the pockets of the cartels
because they literally assassinate the ones that aren't.
Yep. And so it wouldn't surprise me that her like response would be pathetically weak and pandering and crap like that.
It just makes me wonder how the heck this happened then. I mean, if she's not in control, is it like the Mexican military just going off book? And
I mean, at this point, they probably should.
Possibly. The US seemed to have involvement. I don't know all the details, but if it escalates, all right. Well, if that gives the US, cause to come in and take out those cartels.
Well, I mean, let's also don't forget how many Mexicans are in America and how many cartel members are in America.
I'll deal with those too.
And they are not shy about using terroristic tactics either.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, so they get attacked, or one member of the cartel is arrested or killed, and the cartel turns on the civilians. This is like, that's terrorism in a nutshell, right?
Yep. If only the civilians might be able to defend themselves and be armed. Oh, wait, it's America. So a lot of them are. I'm not saying,
not in Mexico. They can't do jack in Mexico. They got
that's one of the good reasons behind, of course, being able to let your
it is the good reason.
Now, meanwhile, look at what Argentina did. They took cartel members and they just mass incarcerated them against all the crying and belly aching and caterwauling about what he did. But what actually happened? What happened was it's now safer in Argentina. Their crime
do you mean El Salvador?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was trying to think of which Middle American country that was.
Yeah, El Salvador went from being like the murder capital of the Western Hemisphere to the safest country in the Western Hemisphere.
I don't know that Mexico has the ability to do that because the cartels are so well ingrained in here. But yeah, this is what she said.
So Mexican president said she didn't want to use force against the cartels because it would violate their human rights.
What?
What the no? Oh, these cartels literally murdering and torturing innocent people left, right, and center. And it's like, oh, we got to think about the cartels' human rights. Are you retarded? Holy crap. No.
This is what a puppet regime looks like. Running interference for the cartels. First, returning to the war against the narcos, not an option because it's outside the framework of the law. No, you're the government. You're the law.
Dude, some of the stories I've heard that these cartels do are just horrifying. Absolutely horrifying.
Yeah,
we're talking about, like, There was a cop that, pushed back against them. And so they came into the cop's home, kidnapped him and his son, murdered the cop in front of the son. But when I say murder, I'm talking about flayed him to pieces, right? Cut off his head and everything in front of the son, right? This is just, and I'm not even doing that account justice. So the crap that I've heard, what these cartels do is barbaric, monstrous evil. These are not like when people degenerate into that level of merciless brutality. To me, that they're not even people.
Honestly, though, this isn't degenerating. It's just going right back to Aztec culture.
It's degenerating into acting like animals. These are barbarians, right? If they're willing to do that to innocent people, and human rights, no, friggin' string them up. Holy crap, this bloody...
Yeah, and I really can't even blame her, because like we just said 3 times, it's like you can't get into office there against the cartels. They will just assassinate you. It's not even a question. You try to stand up against the cartels and you're in politics in Mexico, and you've just signed your death warrant. So nobody's going to go into politics there unless they have, like, Trump standing behind them with the seals or something.
Hey, I'm happy for there to be another state added to the United States.
I would love to have Mexico. Mexico's awesome.
Yeah,
there's so much good stuff down in Mexico, but not with those. It's been a complete, terrorist state. I don't know how else to phrase it. Those cartels, they are demonic. They'll stack piles of heads, hang people from freaking stoplights. It's just terror is their tactic. So,
and unfortunately, it works. I think the one thing that gets mentioned only by the one person I know of who can probably speak on this better than all of us. Our good friend Razorfist has talked about this a number of times on a number of streams about how we have allowed immigration to be open for so long that the problems in Mexico only get compounded over time because they have a relief valve. Yeah, they're poor.
Yeah, exactly.
They have not had a chance to have a revolution against their feckless government because people just leave. There's no pressure for them to change.
Think about who leaves. The people who are willing to stand up and make a difference in their own lives were the relief, right? They leave, they come here. Because uprooting your entire life, I'm not for illegal immigration, but uprooting your entire life to go to another country so you can send money back to your family, that takes a lot of freaking cojones, right? The people that do that, those are the people, if there was a revolution against the cartels, those are the people who would have stood up against the cartels if they had no other option. Unfortunately, their option is to come here and take our jobs.
But hey, Lit Dev, how are you? Good to see you, man.
Hello.
And with the arrival of Lit Dev, I think it's time to dive into the main subject of the stream, Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Just kidding.
A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh boy, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The finale dropped. Now, look, myself, I adored it. I love this show. I'm so pleased with so many things. It's not to say it isn't perfect, but I give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's pretty high up there. Even though the title lied to us, Shad. The title lied to us. There's 9 kingdoms.
All right. That is now debate. That is now under debate. We will come to the 7 or 9 kingdoms that Egg tries to, push. We will see if this is real or not. But before, I do want to get, gentlemen, your overall feelings of not just the finale, but now the overall show. The show is done and completed. And Mike, I'm saving you to last because I think you're going to have some of the bigger nitpicks. But John, what do you think of the show? Hey, are you even up to date? I'm not even sure if you've seen the whole thing yet.
It's good, but mixed with that good, I am a little sad. And I'll tell you why. I don't want to be a wet blanket, more like a wet hand cloth that just kind of hits you in the face from a distance. As I cannot watch this and help but feel it would be spot on 100%. Thank you for the ice cream, dear. I appreciate it. King, I appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry guys, my wife. I cannot help but feel that it would be perfect if it weren't for the fact it's Game of Thrones on HBO, and if the stuff that gets added to it, right? The shock value stuff, the occasional bits of degeneracy, the language kind of helps me feel like they feel like they've got to do this in order for you to remind you, hey, remember guys, we're in Westeros and everything's shit and people are assholes. And it's like, okay, we've seen shows about them. We've got 2 shows about all the backbiting and backstabbing and assholes cutting each other to pieces. We want this guy. We like what this guy is doing. And it just feels like if they took some of that stuff out, it would be perfect. And I think it's good, but I also feel like we used to get this level. We've been in just drowning in DEI and woke stuff for so long that we're basically dying of thirst in the desert, and somebody just handed us a glass of lukewarm water.
Okay,
right?
let's talk about. Can I jump on that?
Should have be getting more like this. This should be the standard. Something better than this should be the standard. We should have way more than this. You see what I'm saying?
I
did enjoy it.
Yeah, I absolutely get the concern. Am I overreacting to this because of the water in a drought kind of mentality? But here's the thing. I read Hedge Knight when we were not as much in a drought, and I loved it then and thought it was great.
Yep.
Okay. This is actually a great story, even when put up on an even footing against some of the best. Is it as good as Lord of the Rings? No. But is it really good? I would even say, yeah, it's great. This is a great story, and this is a really, really good adaptation, barring the exceptional, annoying kind of moments of explicitity. But no, this is actually a very well-written story with traditional values. It's a simple story. We did used to get a lot more of this stuff, but I don't think this is a mediocre hero's journey story. I think this is actually still a really good
I want to butt in on your point too, because George is my favorite modern author, bar none. He is his writing chops are. I don't know anybody. Well, Rothfuss, but damn it, Rothfuss. Anyway,
Rothfuss is like 10 times as woke as Martin will ever be.
But regardless, George being, in my opinion, the best. The Hedge Knight, by a large percentage of guys in George's own fandom, say that's their favorite story. Mm-hmm. So, already being the cream of the crop, the Hedge Knight is the cherry on top of the cream of the crop, and they made that into a show. This doesn't reach mediocre by a freaking mile.
Yeah, this blows past it easily.
Yeah, because I've seen shows in the past that are kind of like, I like because it's a little bit better than the crap around here, or that we get otherwise, or I like it because it's not woke. It met the bare minimum of what a show should be. But Night of Seven Kingdoms, fantastic. Again, this would be great in any time under any circumstances.
Also, fantastic graphic novel adaptation, by the way.
Brilliant graphic novel adaptation,
which is out of print. I saw you pointing that out earlier on Twitter.
Yeah, the third one is out of print. So what
a stupid company!
The Mystery Knight. These are going for over $100 each on eBay.
Do you have any spare copies? Because I don't have that one.
I know you don't.
I did hear some news about the showrunner saying Martin like a request, like, I have an idea of how this thing should end, and going past the book that you've written, and Martin I don't think gave a direct yes or no yet, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's not going to say yes immediately. Look what happened last time. They just ruined his show. They ruined Game of Thrones. So,
I don't remember where I heard it, but I know that the next 2 stories are at least partially written. So we're going to have more. Look, this show, probably 40% of the dialogue was like straight out of the book.
Oh,
so it was like
really good.
Yeah, right. That's now if George just has a framework done for the next 2 series. Maybe the dialogue won't be, but even the dialogue that wasn't straight out of the book, still mostly freaking great dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Really, really good.
Hurry up.
Lit Dev, what's your thoughts overall and also the finale?
I really enjoyed the show overall. The finale, the latest episode was pretty interesting. Although I didn't like the fact that it opened up with jazz. Like,
Music,
I paused
choices.
I paused the episodes. Like, I have another tab open? Like, what's going on? Why is jazz playing? And it's like this is the show. It just opens up with Baratheon and the other guy kind of staring at him. Like, what is this? Like, is this some sort of comedy? Am I supposed to be laughing? What is this? What is this nonsense? There's a show is it is cuts to Dunk looking all miserable under the tree. Like, why is it being shown to me so comedically? Why is there jazz playing? What is this?
So,
it lasts forever.
I like the lighthearted tone, the humor that they did add into this, but the jazz, I agree. Like, why not a lute? Why don't I play a pleasant medieval kind of lute or harp or something, just going or something, because that can get the same tone.
Like some guy could be playing in the background trying to lighten up the mood, but he's terrible at it.
I don't actually like. Lionel could literally have like a troubadour or bard or some musician that he brought along just to try and raise Dunk's spirits, and it's not working.
Because that would totally be something Lionel would do. It would totally be something he would do.
It would be
It would not have jazz playing.
Yeah.
And then the ending song. What was this ending song? What is it? Again, when it ended, I was like, "Is this something else is on?"
Some other tab songs. What was it? What was the ending song?
I forgot what it was. I just tuned it. I kind of shoved it away from my memory. It's like, what is this? But but the actual meat of the episode was good. It's like Dunk kind of like feeling bad about what happened, what went down. Dunk trying to like deal with the consequences and the fallout. Like he's free now. He's not guilty, but then he is not happy. He is not happy.
Opportunity missed though. That would have been a great time when he's going through the camp. That would have been a great time for a knight who remembers his vows line.
Yeah, but they kind of missed out. Like, it would have been so much better going into the thing. I think my biggest criticism is them missing that line. Honestly,
I thought Doug was
also there should have been way more people at Baelor's funeral.
Yeah, there's 10 people.
It's not a family event. It's like, bro.
Not only was he a Targaryen, he's a Targaryen people liked.
I know, yeah. And I was even like, they're holding it at Ashford. Is this my headcanon? Because when I read the graphic novel, it looked like similar but a slightly different location than Ashford. And I was thinking, well, it must be near the main capital and Dunk traveled to attend the funeral.
No. It was still there.
Which is surprising.
Like this still is in his camp afterwards.
Hand of the king. You would think his funeral would be a bit bigger.
I know. I thought they were gonna put a little emphasis on his funeral. It's like, hello.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal. So
I
think
they
missed out some spots. Yeah.
We interrupted. Sorry, Liv, you were.
The funeral just kind of passes by. It's like, okay, like, oh, we'll talk. We'll discuss it again after the roast. So it goes over to the funeral fire.
That line is very much Lionel Baratheon.
That's like you. If anyone else had said that, oh, that's Marvel crap, right? But no, Lionel will definitely say that, and he's my favorite character. I like Lionel Baratheon quite a bit. That guy's awesome. He even invites Dunk to the. I gotta go to the storm. But there's one line that I thought that was kind of interesting. Like Dunk was like, "Hey, he's fought and died for me. Can you show a little respect?" Because Lionel definitely does not like Targaryens. And he goes that I fought for you. Like, you son of a bitch, I fought for you. The Apple Knight fought for you. That guy fought guys who were sworn not to hurt him. He didn't risk anything. He was just an idiot, got killed.
Now, so I think that line is perfectly in line with Lionel's character. But I disagree with him. Like, I think Baelor did risk everything, and the guy did die. So
that's kind of the beauty of the writing, though, is that you can see where Lionel's coming. It's not just some uppity nonsense you get from some woke cartoon where they kind of cobble together some sort of like falsities to make an argument. No, you could see logically where Lionel is coming from. Like, Baelor just went off to go fight the Kingsguard. He didn't actually fight and risk anything. But the thing is, the other side of that is Baelor didn't have to be there at all. He could just let Dunk die and stuff like that. He didn't have to, so that the very action of stepping in and risking his life either way, and for Dunk's honor and his life, was honorable and commendable.
And like that scene, That's an addition. That's not in the book or graphic novel. And this is where I think they're either getting good help from George or they have talent, because the things that they've expanded on from the story, I have loved. Like genuinely, and some are up for debate. We'll have discussions about the ending, of course. But overall, like the opening scene where Lionel is introduced, brilliant, and I help contextualize Dunk's very title, Duncan. So Duncan the Tall, and oh man, the scene with Egg in the bedroom, dude.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Was he to kill him?
Really good.
And then he got caught, and like, what is the king going to do? What's going to happen to Egg? I thought the king was going to kill Egg or something.
But that helped, man. That they added some great dimension to Maekar with his reaction there. And so like Maekar,
I understand, son. He's like, he didn't have to say it. He just like look somber, and kind of put his hand on Egg. He's like, I know. I could feel your frustration.
I know. I want to kill him too.
Look, son, we all want to kill him. People want to kill him, but we can't.
But that is like, well, let's kind of reel it back, because there's a number of things that happen before we get up there, and I'm sure we all have thoughts on different moments. So let's go all in and go through the episode almost chronologically. So talking about the Lionel Baratheon scene at the beginning, Mike or John, was there any thoughts that you wanted to share before we kind of move to the next chronological moment?
Oh, just in this episode?
Yeah. Talking about like the Lionel Baratheon scene. Do you have any thoughts on the
opening? I think that was in character, but I'm a little confused because Baratheons are Targaryens.
I mean,
so
way back.
Understand. Yeah, I know, but it is the Targaryen bloodline that spawned the Baratheons. So it's like, why has he got such a mad on for Targaryens?
I mean, the Targaryens have been assholes to everyone almost through so many years. They rarely have good kings, and when they do, even like Viserys, if Viserys was a good man who made dumb bad mistakes because he just couldn't be decisive and firm on things and flip-flopped and all that, and which caused problems throughout the realm. But the Targaryens have made so many problems, and their seat of their main power was the dragons. Take away the dragons, I kind of like that they're showing the other nobility throughout the kingdoms getting discontent and more discontent, starting to wonder, why are we subjecting ourselves to these idiots? And
it also kind of made me wonder, thinking about, like, maybe not in this scene. No. Oh yeah, well, no, yeah, he's right there. The sigil of the Baratheon is a deer with a crown.
I mean, are the Baratheons head of one of the kingdoms, though? 7 or 9.
No, because when they came over, they conquered the 7 kingdoms. When it was
but there are like but
the Baratheons came over with Aegon the Conqueror. He was his half brother. The first Baratheon in the Westeros was his half brother, and so then Aegon comes over, takes over the 7 kingdoms. He's the king. Why does the Baratheon stag have a crown on it? I'm curious.
Good question. But yeah, like I kind of like that the nobles are showing some of their discontent, and if the Baratheons, even in this point in history, are annoyed with the Targaryens, that just helps set up Robert's rebellion and the straw that broke the camel's back that makes him go berserk, which is of course a massive thing. What happened? But if there was already discontent amongst the Baratheon, lineage with the Targaryens, it fits in quite nicely.
And there's more later when Lionel's daughter is betrothed to Duncan Targaryen, which is one of Aegon's kids.
Oh,
but then he goes off with another chick. So, Sir Duncan goes off with someone else, and so that's why you've probably seen the picture of
him fighting
Dunk. Yeah.
People might say spoilers, but that's known history in Westeros. And will George ever write to that point? Really?
I don't know. That's a long ways off.
I know, exactly.
First series. But as far as this goes, I know it's probably a budgetary thing, but I posted it today. My biggest disappointment about Lionel, because he's a great character, but like, they took out the stuff of him in the book that's in the book and replaced it with him being a party animal, right? Because
there's no like scenes of him fighting guys and cutting off he's supposed to be the laughing guy.
Why is he the laughing storm? Because he gets drunk at parties? No, because he freaking lops off people's freaking head crests and
humiliates them and laughs at
the crowd and laughs his ass off the whole time. And it would have been a great
cool to see,
freaking scene, but yeah, I think it's probably just budget.
Yeah, I would say that very likely it was budget.
This was a super low budget. It was like less
half
than
or
half
a quarter of House of the Dragon. And so what they did with the budget they had is brilliant. Like, if you're not really looking for things that they could have added and you just watch the show, I guess, uninformed, you would think, wow, they didn't hold back. They put in everything that, you would have wanted to have seen. And so I got to give them props for what they did manage.
They also said that during the Battle of the Seven, the budget was really evident there because they had like this whole spear fight with Baratheon and everything, but they cut it because of the budget. So there's other stuff. So they kind of just focused on Dunk in his situation, which I think was the best idea they could have.
I love that. I actually love that, the kind of tight perspective that it shows some of the chaos where Dunk is not fully aware of what's going on around him. And so he gets hit by riders just riding past. But then he's got his main kind of combatant at the same time. And so I loved it. I really enjoyed that. Perhaps even sometimes the restrictions.
No, that was great for that battle for the Trial of the Seven. But again, going back to the earlier tourney, I mean, they missed. I mean, they missed the Battle of the Humphreys. They missed the Laughing Storm. They missed most of the great tourney stuff. They all stuck it on Aryan spiking Humphrey's horse, right? Yeah. But it's like they could have done an entire episode on the tourney if they had the budget for it.
I gotta tell you, the jousting tourneys in this show, best of all the series. I gotta say, I've never been a big fan of the whole of jousting. I always thought it was kind of dumb as far as like a pastime for back in the day. But I mean, it was really exciting the way it's presented in this show. Very quick and short. And I tried to tell my wife, I said, we could go see this. When she was watching with me, I said, we can go see this at a Renaissance fair. And she says, I don't want to go to a Renaissance fair. And I was like, yeah, that's fair. Because these days it's full of sparkle trolls and people who are ruining D&D anyway. So,
jousting is an interesting topic because I've attended the World Jousting Championship and seen like the best of the best do it. It is.
I've been to medieval times.
Also, in D&D, if you thought they ruined D&D now, wait till 6th edition comes out. I'm pretty sure they brought whole new ways to ruin that game.
Yeah, we'll cover that when that comes.
10 times the gay.
But in regards to jousting, it is really impressive, but it's very short. They're riding, bang, and so it isn't like a continual kind of sport contest where it's actually a moment, but that moment is really crucial, and sometimes you see some big stuff in that moment, and so that's cool. But yeah, it's in compared to like modern sport, there's a reason why it hasn't stuck around. But for the medieval period, that was like the big stuff. And they do a brilliant job. This is some of the best medieval combat we have seen put on screen.
That was what George wanted.
Yeah.
He's like, I want this to be the best jousting since Ivanhoe.
And it really was. I would say best jousting since A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger. They upped the ante in that. They did a great job in A Knight's Tale.
Speaking of George, how are we feeling about that little line that feels like it's a jab right at him? A true knight always finishes his story, right, George?
I don't think it was a jab at him. It might have been it. He might have been the one who. He was like super involved in this production.
Yeah, he was.
And so, and the showrunner is like constantly trying to validate George and include him. I almost think that might have been a line from George.
I think the one thing that so if it was George wrote it, is George like I know if he was like I know I should write the rest of these books, but if anything I would say it's a jab at Patrick Rothfuss. What do you do?
Yeah.
Look, George R. R. Martin might be okay a little late on his next book by maybe 12 years, but he has an HBO. He has like what 3 HBO shows. He worked on Elden Ring. He's got Wild Cards. I don't know. He's got some other stuff he's doing.
Yeah.
He's a very busy guy.
But what if you take it even more like maybe he's done with stuff and he hasn't told anybody, because like remember the moment Dunk thinks he's dead for a while. It's like George's writing career seems to have been.
Dunk was throwing death saves.
And then he like wakes up.
Wouldn't that be funny if this was actually George's doing, and to try and make a metaphor that everyone thinks it's dead, and then suddenly at the very end, just bang, it comes out. Or maybe like
I've had that kind of theory myself. That what if his decision was he's actually written that book and the last book, and he's just either going to drop them all at once, or someone was speculating. They heard a rumor on Twitter earlier, just a rumor, grain of salt, that the books are done and they're on a dead man switch, so that when he passes away, they will be released posthumously. So I guess he doesn't have to live the rest of his life with people bugging him about the ending.
Maybe.
They all drop, and then on the back of where the author's picture goes on every single book, it's just him flipping the bird. See, like, I got them all done, you sons of bitches.
I'd respect him if he did that. I really would. I take back a lot of vitriol I have.
I know I've probably said it on this show before, but I have talked to George about like his book, like, because I think it was around the time Robert Jordan passed away and his book was done. He said that he told me it's in his living will that no one can finish A Song of Ice and Fire.
See, that sucks.
That's a good
idea. What is it? Publishers?
It's fan fiction only.
I mean, if we don't get it, that sucks. But that's probably a good idea on his part, because I wouldn't want that to happen either with my stuff. Like, no, you don't get to write my stuff.
To me, that's a betrayal of the fans who have invested so much, love into your world, and you're basically gonna say, "Screw you all! You don't get to see it finished if I die." I hate that. That like Robert Jordan initially had that perspective, but he changed his mind. Good on him for doing so towards the end, because the fans deserve the ending of the story.
But what if they do what they do to him? They did Lord of the Rings. So they drink his Game of Thrones drinks of power.
Also had a rare blood disease and knew that he was going to die, so he had a lot more time to actually think about it. George is probably just going to have a heart attack or something.
Just come out of nowhere.
I mean, he was old when I met him, and that was 25 years ago. So
yeah. Like, how old is George Martin now?
Oh, he's like 75.
He's got to be older than that. I think he was 60 when I met him or something. He's like,
and not for nothing, him doing this and Rothfuss, like you said, those two guys alone have poisoned the well for a lot of fantasy authors, and especially independent ones, with readers who are discontent with the notion of, oh, you're writing a book series. What are you on, book 3? I'm not going to touch it until I see it's actually done. That is a very common sentiment I see in the book spaces. And I kind of think it's a good thing in a way. We have been doing multi-volume fantasy series for so long, so many decades, since I started reading them in the 90s. I think pulling back to a place where we're doing one-and-dones, duologies, and trilogies is probably a better, healthier thing, because I think more often than not we end up with cases of fantasy book series that go on too long to their own detriment, and they end up losing the sauce. Wheel of Time, great series.
Wheel of Time is the exception there,
but to me, I've always said this, and I always will say it's the best and the worst of epic fantasy multi-volumes. So, good on Robert Jordan. I still need to finish it. But
those are fighting words. I love.
I will fight with you. Look, I can enjoy something and still recognize its faults. I read all of the Sword of Truth series. Okay, believe me when I say that. I can enjoy something even though I admit, like, hey, I'm holding a turd in my hands. Some of those books were bad. One of the books was the worst fantasy book I've ever read.
Look, I'm saying Wheel of Time goes like this. It goes high, it dips through the middle, but it ends on a high note. It ends brilliant.
I've got to get through it. I really do.
Now, it's interesting, like a whole thing about multi-book series.
The last 2 books weren't written by Jordan. That's a terrible thing to say.
No. They were very much informed by Jordan. and
I
they were
heard
already
Jordan started
picking
to
up.
pick back up.
Oh yeah, they were
once
picking up before George left. Yeah,
yeah. Jordan kind of recognized that, okay, some of these books in what is officially known as the slog, by his fans, mind you, were not his best offerings, and he did start to write the course of the series before he passed away.
Yeah, he did. And it ended great. Again, that was according to what his outlines were. And so when an author pulls off a multi-book series, it's so good. It's really, really satisfying. Now, I'm not saying like authors shouldn't do one and dones. I've done that myself. Shadow the Conqueror is a standalone with sequel potential, and I might do sequels in the future, but I'm very happy with it, sticking as just a one and done book. But my next book is the beginning of a larger series, which might be a trilogy, but might be longer, depending on which angle of attack I go with the sequels. And so that's going to be a very interesting journey when I get my next book out, because I do wonder if people will hold off if they know that this is the beginning of the series, that they might not dive into this first book because of that, which would be a shame because I love what I've written. I think this first book is going to be such a blast. And it has kind of standalone-ish kind of potential that opens up the events of the longer series. So it'll be interesting to see what people think about it. But going back to Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the next scene after the Lionel Baratheon scene in the opening is the funeral. And I thought that we already kind of talked about it. The roast, not as big as we think it should have been.
Yeah,
this is the Hand of the King. Odd location, but the exchange between Dunk and the son of Baelor, I thought was great. Valar, yeah. Really, really cool. And it's when he kind of emphasized, many, I forget if it was knights have died.
The lines of Valar was given were Makar's lines though from the end of the book.
Oh, were they? Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Well, I think it kind of hit harder coming from Valar then, because he is the son talking about that. That's interesting. See,
he doesn't have much to do in the book.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that they do that. They've done some things that I think are good kind of adaptations in this.
Yeah, sense. That little scene with Darren, that was great. That really
Which one was that?
Oh, when he said, I'm sure we'll make a man out of egg.
Oh yes, yes. Because that helps contextualize so much. Because after the funeral, Dunk then meets up with Raymond Fossaway, and people have been discussing about what is revealed in this moment. First of all, Raymond
the fact that he's going to marry a whore.
We'll get to his
he doesn't really know that
choice in partner. But before that, Raymond, he just comes up and gives Dunk a massive hug. What I love about this is that the show is also showing male friendship, wholesome friendship. Now,
and that I mean close considering that they're gay, which is like impossible today, where it's like, oh, they have to be either enemies or gay. There's no in between.
No joke. When he was holding the hug, I was thinking they're not going to insinuate that Raymond has a thing for Dunk and is trying to hold on too much. And then the very next moment, it's like, oh, here's my wife. I hooked up with a woman, meaning he's straight. And so that was Raymond just being a complete softie. It's just like
it was so funny that scene because like the look on Rowan's face, she's like, it's the look of don't freaking say anything, Dunk.
And then she's like, nice to meet you, Dunk. And he's like, oh yeah, nice to meet you. I was like, this is we see like a moral conflict because one, does she like keep the secret so that she gets her happy ending, or is he a bro and like bro, she's like an OnlyFans girl. You don't want to be with that.
well, exactly. I was wondering about what
she's carrying a Dondarrion.
Well, hang on, that's unknown. That like she could be lying just to get the guy to hook up with her. So.
Was she not showing already?
No, she wasn't. She was hooking up with him in the only in this week. It takes a lot longer.
It would have been like within a week. So she wouldn't have known she was pregnant.
Exactly. She would have no idea. I reckon she was just lying.
So in other words, Stephanie's an idiot.
And also, she was a prostitute during that time. In this world actually has a type of birth control, and so she would have been on the birth control while hooking up, unless she was an opportunistic whore that was thinking, well, if I do get pregnant, but then it's a bastard. And in this world, so many lords just forget stuff their bastards, and they don't, legitimize them. And so that I actually think in context is that she most likely was on the birth control of the world, and she was making sure she wasn't getting pregnant and lied to Raymond. So Raymond would actually, marry her. Now, going back to Dunk's reaction, this is interesting because, what is like the moral thing? Dunk is a good guy, but here's the thing, right? Out of the few people that showed Dunk some genuine kindness, it was her. She was one of the few people that, softened on him, helped him out. And so she actually has a good heart, even though she's a whore, right? And so there's that side where I think Dunk feels like he probably owes her something. And he might not know exactly like, okay, should I?
It's not like they were betrothed. He'd already married her. So that die was cast. He's not going to be like talking smack about his wife. Was
he married, or did he say I'm going to marry?
No, he said they were married.
Married, because then it's done and dusted. And Raymond seemed pretty happy, right? Like in Raymond's mind, he just like opposed his cousin, got knighted, fought in one of the most significant tourneys, like trials in the history. He was on the winning side, and then this beautiful woman comes up to him, and he got to like marry this gorgeous lady, even though she's a whore, but she has a kind heart. But so from Raymond's mind, he's probably on top of the friggin' world.
Let's just say she's a camp follower.
She's a camp follower. Now, as to the question of her carrying the other guy's
seed,
child. I think she was just lying about that to get him to marry her. And then she's going to be very active in the bedroom, let's say, to ensure that her statement of being pregnant is fulfilled. And I have a feeling Raymond would not be objecting to that much. But that's my take on it. And we don't know, because Raymond, he doesn't appear in the other books. It's like, and that's kind of it. Which is a pity because it's such a cool character.
I kind of wonder if they would change that for future seasons.
I don't know.
Unless he just comes across him like after the third, but he's not in the second or third stories.
Flashbacks. They might be able to do it with flashbacks, like between this season and the next season, which is between the stories, like a year is passed in between it. And so Duncan Egg could have come across multiple people from Ashford that they met, and or even traveled to some of their lands, like go to the new title that Raymond has, and Raymond starts his own kind of line of the Fossleways, and so there might be a flashback to them visiting or staying a night over there.
By the way,
the green apples, the green apple Fossleways.
This is the page I'm filling in blacks on, is when he shows his green apple shield.
Hey, there he is. That's cool.
Nice.
Yep, the green apple
green than wormy.
Yep, green apple Fossleways. Good on him, man. So Raymond is like the unsung hero of this season. I really liked that they showed him just as a genuine, decent guy. He's got his bros back, risks his life, saves his life in the middle of the battle. Oh, so
it really echoes. I know you haven't watched the Game of Thrones, but it really echoes Podrick Payne and Brienne. Which Brienne is a descendant of Dunk, and Pod Payne is like, it's like her Raymond Fossaway.
Was that confirmed, or was that just speculation?
Well, it's confirmed to me.
It's confirmed. It makes a lot of sense. She's very tall. She has a strong sense of honor and duty and knighthood.
And his shield was in her house.
Was it?
Yeah.
I missed that. Okay, then very likely. Holy crap.
Easter egg turning into actual canon. That's not bad.
That's
it almost
cool.
makes it look like the writers know what they're doing at times.
Did Dunk have any children at that moment of Summerhall? Because if not, that also confirms Dunk survived.
By Summerhall, I don't know.
because he was a member of the King's Guard, and they're sworn to chastity.
Right.
Well, not chastity. Celibacy.
Yeah.
Celibacy. So it would actually make sense that he's not married or have any kids at that point. And if he does, and George said that Dunk does have descendants in Westeros.
Yep.
Which look, could have been from an illegitimate hookup or something that he had in the past. But if he does actually get married, well, then that also confirms the little spoiler that Dexter, the actor of Egg, dropped, is that Dunk survives.
Yeah.
Which I was very.
And Dunk is the kind of guy who would not break his vows.
He is. He's honorable. He takes those things seriously. And so the idea that Dunk, did his best to save the lineage of Egg, and if Egg survived or not, don't know. I would love it if Egg just rode off into the sunset with Dunk, but if not, Dunk rides off to the sunset, and it turns out he got married and had a family. That's a great ending for Dunk. I'm like, warms my heart.
It's what he deserves. That's what we want him to get. What he deserves.
If anyone in Westeros deserves that kind of ending, he does.
Oh, that's the gag.
What's the gag?
Brienne of Tarth. Remember at the beginning, Lionel says, "Have you ever been to Tarth?"
No.
Oh, that would be like Dunk's daughter because she's so huge.
Right.
That went way over my head. I didn't even think about that. Huh.
Yeah, actually. Oh, interesting. Okay.
I'm not good at spotting these Easter eggs, It's just me.
So after the scene with Raymond, then Dunk is called to meet Maekar, and Maekar, these are the dialogue directly from the book, and it's great dialogue where Maker's like, they will say forever that I killed my brother and things like that, and if things go bad, they will wonder if Baelor wouldn't have let this happen, kind of thing. Just a great scene. But then he asks about Dunk taking on Egg. Dunk says no, because he's kind of had enough with princes. They're all just trouble. And which is interesting because this is it is Dunk's dream, though. The offer is basically you get to be a knight in a royal family. You get all the privilege and training.
He gets offered his dream twice because of the rewrite with Lionel too.
With Lionel as well.
Right.
They could have gone with Lionel. Lionel would be way better. He's not a prince. He's just a cool dude.
But I mean, I wonder because we know that Dunk turns down Lionel as well, and I wonder if it's because Dunk kind of knows Lionel's he's a good kind of buddy, but Lionel's attitude could degenerate. It's not a good attitude. Lionel, was praising the death of Baelor, and what if that was a thing that made Dunk think I like the guy, but I don't want to live around his.
It's kind of like the political friend you agree with, but he's like a little too extreme.
A little too extreme, exactly.
I don't think he was praising Baelor's death. I think he was just pointing out that he wasn't.
He said any dead dragon is a good dragon. He was happy that Baelor died.
Yeah.
And so
he's a bigot.
That could be the thing where Dunk's like, it's a little too extreme.
Well, Fossaway is also a bigot. It was like those Targaryens are aliens and weirdos. They're from another country. They came out of our country.
Right up until he met Baelor, and then he was in love.
Yeah. And so Dunk chooses that it's just better to be a hedge knight, go out on his own, and just be a good guy and serve where he can find work and stuff. And so I kind of like that.
I think it was more along the line because of how much all of this stuff was weighing on him.
Yeah.
He was probably just more like, I don't deserve any of this crap. I'm just going to go crawl in a bush and.
No, see, I think it was just like all this politics of the great houses suck and often ends in ruin, and it's very hard to find good people amongst them. And so I feel from Dunk's perspective, it's just simpler to be a hedge knight. He's just gonna go on his intention of being a knight. But it is if early in the episode things are weighing on him, and he does blame himself of what happened. And that's also in the Maekar scene. Egg was listening in, and so Dunk asked, were you spying? And Egg says no, but Dunk sees through it in complete. I love that they show that
obviously he was spying.
Exactly. Dunk knows Egg so well that that's bullcrap. And he doesn't even address the line. He continues the conversation as if Egg confirmed that he had. And he said, like, I'm sorry, or something, like knowing that Egg knows that he turned down Esquire.
Again, this is something I kind of took issue with at the end, but now that you're reminding me of this spot, it's kind of even worse because this is a blatant lie. Before, in the book and throughout the other series, Egg doesn't lie, he obfuscates.
Yeah, I think it's
And
still
here,
in
he
line
just-
with his character.
He
like,
just straight up lies.
but is it a lie with him knowing that Dunk like is not going to believe it? Like at
It's
this
a
point?
lie. He says the opposite of what he knows to be true.
Yeah, I'm saying it's in line with his character still. I think
No,
it's,
that's what I'm saying. It's not in line with his character because before he would go out of his way not to lie. He would go out of his way to make you think something other than the truth, but without him actually lying.
Yeah, but I still think it's possible for him to say a white lie here or there. That like kids are kids. I think they can make moral slip ups even if they generally try to follow a thing. So I'm okay with that, and I like it because it shows how well Dunk knows Egg at this point, and he probably knows Egg better than Maekar does. Like I think that's already established that Maekar has trouble understanding and connecting, and because Egg even said that he doesn't really know his father. Maekar is like he does love Egg, but is not a good dad. Like he doesn't know how to be.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Proof's in the pudding on that one.
Yep. And so then there's the scene at Lord Beesbury's funeral where Lionel is sorry, not like Raymond is there and is wondering about how all the flies are on the thing. And his wife gives him the answer. And so what interesting, like that could inform their relationship going in the future if they stick together. Where she is
She's be running the show.
Yeah, she knows things, right? And she could actually be the kind of voice of wisdom. And Raymond is the moral kind of center and leader. And so it's like, okay, maybe
the guy he is kind of a good guy, but he is kind of an idiot also.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she probably like, maybe this is like the ideal guy to get. He's a noble knight and everything. He's willing to marry me, not to ask too many questions. Also, he's easy to manipulate. So
he's like a 90s. He's like a 90s sitcom dad.
Yeah, he is like exactly.
Manipulate. I think there would be manipulation there, but I think he has a moral center that would keep him on the straight and narrow and would push back when the suggestions go against too much. But hey, I'm reading into that. That's me creating kind of the future of old Raymond. We don't really get to know the details of what happens with him. But then there is a great moment where Dunk notices the brother, but I forget the brother's name. Is the
Stefan?
No, the other brother. The
Darren.
Darren is there, and he kind of approaches like, you don't have a right to be there. Egg gets brought up, and is it Darren's line about, oh, don't worry, he wasn't always a monster, and Dunk is like, Egg isn't a monster,
yeah.
And he's like, I'm not talking about. He was actually talking about Aaron.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great addition. That was like
great.
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
And especially when he says like, but I'm sure we'll make a man out of
eggs.
I think it's kind of one of the cool takeaways of the last episode is that it is important for young men to have a positive male role model,
right?
Great?
And they kind of want to take that away in modern day media and everything, and they kind of want to insinuate that a mom could do it all on her own. Like, no, she can't. A mom could never ever raise a son to be a man, never. Only a man can initiate another man. A knight can make a knight. A man can only initiate another man. It's just how it goes. Like women cannot teach a man how to be manly. It has to be a man. So yeah, men know
instinctively. Yeah, men know instinctively what young men need.
Absolutely. And I thought that was pretty cool that that's how it kind of ends. And they kind of mentioned it before this happens. Is that Dunk is like, I want to take Egg away from all this, away from this the palace life and everything, so he can actually like know how it feels to live like a normal person. And so he has this experience to draw upon whatever he might do in life. So yeah, it's like you have all this experience, you have a good leader, you have someone to show you the way as a young man. And it's very important in this last episode that it's Dunk who is his role model, who is this honorable, courageous man who will fight evil and uphold his oaths and kind of portray the romantic strong knight that people don't really believe in anymore.
And Egg is the one that recognizes it. He's the one that will not squire for anyone else.
But Egg also, like, the next scene is brilliant because it bookends the, like this makes this show, it elevates this show above mere entertainment when there is actually some really wholesome, deep truths that are embedded in this. That just the one right here is that young men need virtuous, noble male role models.
Yeah.
Very important. And there's also a message about like being spoiled and living in the lap of luxury can also totally ruin your perspective as an individual, what you need about what to value in terms of material things, but also not to be an entitled, spoiled git, you know? And that's the danger of being raised as a royal to Egg. And it's all kind of encapsulated, not only this scene, but the next scene. And so with this scene where the brother is basically saying, yeah, if he's implying that if Egg stays with the family and doesn't go to squire with you, there's a good chance he could turn out as messed up as Arion has.
Yeah, and the fact that he was about to freaking slice Arion's throat.
Well, then we're going to get that because
gotta get in those hints. Yeah,
that reveals that there is a potential darkness in Egg that Dunk has the capacity to save him from. And so what I love, and again, this is an addition, but it adds a lot, and it's really good because that means Dunk's choice to then change and say I will take Egg is wholly selfless for Egg. It is just his doing it out of his love for this young man that needs help, right? That he might turn into a monster if he's kept in the environment he is. And so then he goes back and he says to Maekar he will take on Egg, but not in Summerhall or wherever they're going to live. He's going to do it as a hedge knight. And of course, Maekar is completely like against it. He's insulted by it. But then, like, the great line, and this is a line from the book, Dunk throws back, is like, what are the two brothers' names again? I was like,
Arion and Daron.
Arion, and this is something along the lines of Arion probably ate the finest fish and sorry.
No, it was
no, it was the other one.
Darren never slept. He like always slept on feathered beds or something, and then
yes. Arion ate the nicest meat, bloody and rare.
Thick, bloody and rare, yeah.
Yeah. And he's implying like, sorry, go John.
If I may, I think it goes probably the strongest attribute for Dunk's character is to show that he is, borderline penniless and broke so much of the time, not just as a way of framing him as an underdog you can root for, but also because it makes his values the most important thing that he is holding on to. He is not driven by any political motivation or financial motivation, and it strips away everything except his morals and convictions. And so that's what he has to what he clings to the most. And I think probably my favorite scene was before the attorney, where he was offered the chance to throw the fight and line his own pockets. He's like, oh wait, I know you need this more than you need the glory, but that was more. It was more important for him to uphold his morals in that moment than anything else.
I know. Yeah, I know. On that note, I know that the whole thing where he punches the prince and defends Tensel Too Tall was like his big flashy moment, but really his most moral test was that moment, because that was a true, like the Tensel Too Tall, the defense of her was not really a question for him. I was like, yeah, that's the honorable thing to do. That's what I need to do. The whole thing of like, we're going to pay off this guy. You're going to win this battle against this awesome guy. You're going to get accolades, honors, celebration, money, a horse, armor. You're going to get a guaranteed win on your first bout against a formidable opponent. You're going to get everything you want, Dunk. All you have to do is say yes. Just get rid of a little bit of your honor and say yes, and you get all of these things. And he says no. And the thing is, as George R. R. Martin, like he referenced Faulkner. It's like the only thing worth writing is the heart in conflict with itself. That's the moment where the heart is in conflict with itself with Dunk. That's why it's such a big temptation moment, a big character moment for him, because defending Tensel is not a heart in conflict with itself. It's easy. It's easy. It's not. There's no conflict there. The conflict is when he's tempted there with the payoff, is because he's given exactly what he wants, everything he wants, that he with all those accolades, and all, but at the cost of his honor, and he wants both, and he cannot have both in the situation. And and he has to say no. It's like a painful no too. That's what evil is. That's what evil does. It doesn't play. Evil doesn't play fair. It comes to you at your most desperate moment, and it's like Jesus getting offered water in the desert by the devil, right? It's like you are starving, you are dying of thirst. Here's some water. All you have to do is say yes, and then he says no, because no matter what they might be, what he might feel, it's wrong. And that's kind of what Dunk got. He could have said yes. He was tempted. You could see he was tempted to say yes. I mean, who wouldn't be in that situation, especially with Dunk's stated goals? But ultimately, he said no because it would be wrong. And that was Dunk's greatest character.
Kind of puts another
Brilliant
reason to hate the fact that they took out the line from Steely Pate, because that's like it's the theme.
Mm-hmm.
The theme should be stated, and that's the whole theme, is that it's like, you're a knight there, remembered his vows. That's what you are. That's the importance of your character.
And that's something that they cut out by, and the showrunner said is a mistake. The thing is, though, everything that like LitDev was just pointing out, and great way to say it as well, LitDev, I agree 100%. That's an addition. They added that. That's not in the book. Yeah. And so this adaptation is doing some really like great stuff in helping encapsulate kind of Dunk's, journey here, and his trial and his temptations, and that he still chooses to be better and above the kind of temptations that are thrown his way. This is like, there's some really good stuff in this. This is why this show is not water in a desert. It's actually great, right? And there will be things that will point out that, like we wish they would have done differently, but overall, really, really good. So now let's come to the scene with Egg, because I think the scene with Egg is actually before when Dunk goes to Maekar to say he'll take on Egg as his squire, where Egg is in his room and he looks in the mirror, and he goes in the mirror and he sees the stubble of hair growing on his head.
The sign of his shame.
Well, that's exactly like Egg literally said, even though it was his brother that shaved it off, he said to Arian that he shaved off because he didn't want to look like him, that he feels like the hair is a reflection of the potential darkness that he sees in his brother. And so that already is like the first sign that Egg is worried that he might turn out like his brother. And then there is something that's genuinely dynamic and brilliant in this, because Egg hates his brother and feels his brother is evil. And from a kind of childish, naive sense, you can see why Egg might think his brother deserves to die. His brother...
Well, it's not even childish. He just killed the Humphreys. He killed Baelor. He caused all of this grief for everyone in his family because his brother's a freaking prick.
And the feeling of justice that his brother deserves to die comes from a genuine, real, rational understanding of justice. Yet the action that he is tempted to take is the very type of action that his brother would do against someone his brother hated. And so it is like justified, yet it is revealing a darkness that is tempting him to become like the very evil he is wanting to kill. What a brilliant dynamic setup that is. That is really good thematic, deep storytelling right there. That is great, right?
Like, can Dunk save Egg from his Targaryen-esque fate of becoming insane?
And there is deep morality there about if you resort to the evil that your enemies are using to defeat you, and it is actual evil, you start to become exactly like the evil you're trying to destroy. There is an underlining truth about that, right? And that the ends don't justify the means, and that you should not resort to evil to destroy evil, that you have to have faith that good will triumph by holding true to what is right and good. And so this is exploring all that. And then Egg literally goes into his brother's room holding a knife with the supposed temptation and intent to murder his brother in his sleep, who's lying invalid, whose brother kind of deserves being put to death for the scummy crap that is done, but murdering, so like, it's a darkness that Egg should not be flirting with, but he is, because he has a potential.
Because he's a Targaryen.
He has a potential darkness in him. And this is the type of stuff that Egg is already being pushed to by being back with his corrupted, messed up family, right? And it encapsulates already that if Egg stays in this environment, it's not going to turn out good for him. All right. And it's also then bookended by the reaction of his father, because his father loves his son. And that's what stops him. His father is literally in the room and he gets caught completely.
What's interesting was that one moment where he goes, like, Dunk is like, I'll take him. I'll let him be my squire. And then, but he has to can't be at Summer Hall. And we're going to take him along with me. We're going to live on the road. And then Makar's like, he's my last son, because all these other sons kind of
right. Except for Aemon's not bad. They just say he's useless.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Aemon.
Haven't seen anything of Aemon.
But Lidev, you're right. And that line was like, "It's my last son," is almost like a desperate plea from Makar, thinking like, Egg isn't messed up yet. Maybe I can still save him.
It's like communism. Like, okay, maybe I can get it done right this time around.
Yeah, maybe it'll work this time.
But they do a great job in building Makar's kind of dynamic, three-dimensional character here, because Makar, when he sees Egg, and Makar kind of like he can see that Egg, has a knife, but it's kind of on the side. But Makar, like, he doesn't fly off the handle. Makar actually reaches out to Egg with a level of understanding by just embracing his son and hugging him, kind of like saying, "Look, I know, I love you. Okay."
Yeah, it's really interesting because like they didn't really give him much, if any more, in terms of dialogue, but they did flesh him out in this episode more than you would have seen in the book. It's I did appreciate, at first, I know we're gonna get there, but at first I had a problem with the last scene. We'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there because there's a bit to talk about with that. So really great scene. I like these additions in this episode. Holy crap! I'm like, this is really well done. It's either credits to the writers, showrunners, or George, because this is some really good stuff. And it very well could have been, all of the above. George saying, well, we could explore this more. The characters, thinking about this, reacting this, because it fits in so good and enhances the story.
And the Ira, what's his face, the director, showrunner, whatever, he just really seems like he wants to make George happy, which is good. Thank
like
God,
I know
does.
This is one of the better adaptations of a book novel that I've ever seen.
It's spot on. I mean, it's spot on. Even George R. R. Martin had to say, like, oh, it's spot on, the casting and everything. The only thing that I still am worried about is the discourse has revealed that the wrong kind of people like the show, which is our guys. We like the show.
and we're pointing out valid reasons for liking it. This show is based traditional masculine pilled, right? And if we point this out and the progressives in Hollywood see like, oh, they have
now season 2, Dunk's got to take it up the butt.
Exactly.
That was my exact fear.
He's got to fall into the dress.
That's my exact fear, is that they're going to see who likes this show and why they like it, and they're gonna grab the steering wheel of season 2 and they're gonna intentionally curb it, drive it into the curb, off the ditch. They've done it, guys. Look at what they did with Joker 2. Like, that is patient zero for them doing that.
That was the director doing, though. The director was so
the director. That was,
you mean made it great?
In case you don't know, John, Lidev loves Joker 2.
I love Joker 2.
Joker 2, my God.
I'll fight you on the side.
Stop.
There is no Joker 2.
We're reeling his back.
I'll meet you there on the side of the road.
It's like Highlander. They can be only one.
Stop. Back to Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So Hollywood would be retarded to do that. But guess what? Hollywood is. The only hope is that the showrunner seems to have the right mindset, perspective, working with George, and he genuinely seems to love this.
And the show, I don't think you could get a show this good, like this on point and everything, if showrunner did not like it. We've seen multiple examples of like a director or showrunner not liking the thing, clearly not liking the thing that they're on, and it shows. There's no passion. This has it. This has passion in it. So it's very clear the showrunner does care. I'm just still worried a little bit, but we're going to put in a little scene where Dunk is emasculated or something like that.
Yeah, I know, right? I hope not, but luckily we got this season, and this season is just gold.
Season 2, they're probably that they have a very short scene where Dunk is having a dream about Lady Rohan where she's naked. And I get a feeling they're going to make that an entire episode.
Or they're going to make that explicit.
or they're going to make him dream about a guy naked.
But
it all depends.
Yeah, the long inch. Oh, that's why they call you the long inch.
The thing is, right? People might be worried because the second story has what people could interpret as girl boss, but their conclusion is going to really be the determining factor if it is, because Dunk, she melts she melts for Dunk. She's this girl boss, but the feminism leaves her body because of Dunk, right? And there's a great moment towards the end between her and Dunk that they need to keep. They need to keep, right?
Yeah, but the explanation of why she has to girl boss is so great.
It's great, exactly. What did she say? A woman needs to piss twice as far as a man to even be seen. And I think that.
Yeah, and she's gonna lose. I don't want to spoil everything, but she's gonna lose a lot if she doesn't
the story literally explains that she is being such a female girl dog, right? Because she feels like she has to push so hard, so people
because everybody around her would just take her land.
Yeah, and the feminism leaves her body. That reminds me of that moment in Willow, the original Willow movie, where the feminism leaves the queen's daughter's body. Once Mad Mardigan goes in there, starts reciting some poetry, being masculine, and boom, all girl bossness dissolved.
Yes,
go away, mother. I'm on the good guy side now.
Yeah, exactly. She found a real man, and so she's ready. I love the original Willow. What a tragedy that show was. But
glad there was. I'm glad they never made a show about it.
Yeah, good thing there was never a show. Is there any evidence the show existed? I can't.
Yeah, there's no evidence. I mean, I don't see a show. I can't
not on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I can't go on Disney Plus and find it or anything. So,
okay, so that the scene with Egg and Maekar and the brother in the bedroom, friggin' phenomenal. And then the next scene is when Dunk approaches Maekar with the whole "I will take on Egg," and then he drops the great line about Egg's brothers being essentially pampered, and he's implying, look how they turned out. So maybe Egg eating that hard salt beef is exactly what he needs. Maekar still says no, but by what we know from the previous conversation between Dunk and Egg, obviously someone was listening in.
Also, I just want to point out it's right at that point in the book and in the graphic novel, Maekar just gets pissed and walks away.
Walks off, yeah.
He's like, this meeting is adjourned.
So Maekar doesn't actually give his verbal consent for Dunk. He
doesn't say no. He just gets mad and walks off.
Yeah. So in the show, they do show him saying no, basically. I was kind of expecting that his mind must change. And what happens is Dunk is then saddling up his horses. It's getting ready to leave. And Egg arrives and says, "My father commands that I must be your squire, sir." And your squire. And Egg says, "Be your squire, sir." And Dunk is just rolls right into it. Like, get on the horse, chestnut's yours. If I see you on Thunder without my permission, you'll get a clout in the
ear. That should be his catchphrase. You get a clout in the ear.
No, it is more in the book. It is. He says clout multiple times.
Does he ever actually clout him in the ear, or is that just like his?
No, just a
his honeymooner's catchphrase.
He does in the next series. He clouts him in the ear.
Okay.
Right to the moon. Right to the moon.
Well, and guess what? Young boys sometimes need firm discipline, and he will get that from Dunk. We're in the royal court,
which is where is that funny? That's a line that was added. He's a good boy. He just needs a hard hand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Isn't that great? Look at that. Again, the fact that this show is acknowledging that, young boys need discipline, structure, and that's
It's
exactly
kind of why that women can't really raise a boy into a man, because it's like we've seen, like with women, it's the negotiation and compromise and things where Dunk would be like, "Shut up, pop, get back up, look off the horse."
No joke.
So there's more strict. You have to raise a boy to be a man in a different way than you raise a girl to be a woman. Like on the opposite side, a man can't really raise a girl to be a woman. Not really, not the same way a woman can. So there are distinct differences in how this is done.
Oh, you know what? I have to also compliment, right? The acting of this young boy. His name is Dexter, I believe, right? In that scene in the bedroom, he has this like sullen, sad expression that he can put on. And I'm no joke. I have seen that exact expression from my second youngest son. Like it's like almost 1 for 1. It is so perfectly realistic.
Wait, is this the expression where he's about to murder his brother?
No. It's the expression of sadness to his father. And I can't, like, where he kind of small mouth, look up, eyes that are still kind of steel, but there's sadness in them, and then you can see that the tear and stuff. And when my son has legitimately done something wrong and I need to tell him off, I've seen that face. Like the acting of this young guy is holy crap. You know, props to him. It is done really, really well. And that scene is powerful with the performance of those actors. I kind of am worried for this young kid, like, because he's done such a good job. He's going to get a lot of attention, and Hollywood destroys kids. So I hope people look out for him and protect this young guy, because he's a talent, but that means he's going to get attention.
But now he's got a great older male role model.
He does.
Well, I mean, Epstein is gone away, so they're gonna. I guess they have to replace Epstein now or something. But
protect the young kid. Is just a very wholesome kid. I've been watching the making of series and stuff, and it's just a genuinely happy young kid, and his acting for Egg was perfect. It was so good. So yeah, I like Egg, I think, was actually spying in on Dunk talking with Maekar. That's why he knows Dunk offered the position of squire, and so Egg just like, my father commands it, and Dunk, without missing a beat, gets him on, and already showing the discipline that Egg is craving. Egg looks up and truly respects Dunk. And so this is exactly the thing he needs. And so now we get to the change, because there's an aspect of the change that I actually love about this. And so the very next scene after Dunk and Egg are leaving, it's like a post-credit scene. By the way, I guess we should pause and see the end. So there's an ending scene before the post-credits where Dunk and Egg are riding off. And they have a conversation about it, the 7 kingdoms. Egg corrects him. It's not 7 kingdoms, it's 9.
9 kingdoms.
Is it 9 though, Egg? I think it turns out that Dunk could have come back and said, no, but this place and this place aren't considered official kingdoms. They're just kind of regions or something like that.
Well, yeah, and that's the truth, because there were 7 kingdoms when the 7 kingdoms were united under Aegon the Conqueror.
But Dawn was
now that they're different regions, they're not individual kingdoms.
Well,
so they were never.
Was Dawn counted amongst the 7? Because they never conquered Dawn originally. So I don't know.
I believe Dawn was a kingdom, but Dawn came under.
Yeah, because Dawn has kind of like some type of adherence to.
But anyways, back to the.
Yeah, but still, it's a great little thing that encapsulates their relationship. Where Egg is like, he's more learned than Dunk, and Dunk is kind of a bit like annoyed by it. It's just like, son of a, he's right, kind of thing. Like Dunk is like little thing, and so it's a great dynamic where Dunk will push back on Egg when Egg needs discipline and push back, but Egg is a good influence on Dunk. Their relationship is brilliant, and so they talk about they can go anywhere, and they're just going to be a hedge knight and his squire, and then there's an actual heartwarming scene of them riding away, and then you see Sir Ireland on Sweetfoot, riding with them at first, and then moving off to the side and riding away as a kind of tribute to Ireland, because all of the values that Dunk has was taught to him by Ireland. Like they did
it's like a passing the torch scene.
Exactly. Aside from the stupid nude scene with him, they've done a really good job with Ireland. Like
It was the best scene.
It was such a good scene, right? They showed that this dude saved Dunk's life, literally saved his life, but then raised him to be a good man.
The name of the mother. I do like that episode because it does quantify like what the knight's oath is. It's like in the name of the mother, you protect the innocent. So like the name of the father, the name of the mother. It is kind of cool. I do like that. I'm a fan of knight's oaths in movies like Dragonheart and Kingdom of Heaven and something like that. I do like knight's oaths.
Exactly. Well, it encapsulates the standard and virtue that men should be trying to hold to naturally. That like true masculinity, when understood, is a virtuous thing that needs to be embraced and not only upheld, but pursued. As men, we should pursue and strive to be masculine. And this show kind of encapsulates. Knighthood has been a kind of a glorious surrogate for the concept of masculinity and manhood because it encapsulates the virtuous aspects of it about holding to true moral principles as a man. As a man, you are stronger. There is a responsibility. It's the Spider-Man, catchphrase, with great strength comes great responsibility. Men have that inherently with their strength. Therefore, it carries a responsibility to use it justly to help the weak, protect the innocent, and the concepts of romanticized knighthood encapsulates this. And so I'm 100% with you there, Lit Dev. I love that too. This show encapsulates it, which is why so many people are loving it, because it pays tribute to it and does justice to it in the end. And again, it's all encapsulated with Ireland teaching those principles to Dunk, and it is given a great tribute and send off in the end that Dunk is Ireland's legacy and Dunk will uphold it, and Ireland will leave an important mark on the world for just being, look, he had his problems, but he was still a good man at the end of the day, right? And he will leave a very important legacy, and Dunk is that legacy, and that scene is gold. It is a great scene. As a tribute,
there's no D at the end of Ireland.
Ireland.
All right, getting to what I liked and what I hated and why I changed my mind about that last scene is that the way they portrayed it with Maekar, I mean, they obviously made it look like Egg ran away and lied and didn't learn a freaking thing about all of the chaos he caused from running away and lying the first time. Right? That's the way it played to me when I first saw it, and it bugged the hell out of me because Egg's not learning anything. Egg's starting his new life with Dunk based on a lie. And then somebody in the comment section pointed out that he didn't have his ring on in that final scene, right? Where he had his ring on before. So Egg could not have stolen the ring off of his finger while he's sleeping, which means...
You mean Maekar? Maekar didn't have the ring on?
Right. Because see, in the next series, Egg has the ring.
It has the ring.
The ring in the boot, which is pivotal to that whole story. But if he's got the ring... Maekar had to have given it to him.
Interesting.
So,
well, can I jump on?
Just trying to not look like a. I mean, I gave my kid to a hedge knight. He goes, "Where's
maybe?" There's a couple of ways to have that play out, but I want to go back on the potential lie, even if because most people are interpreting that Egg just ran off. I kind of still love it, even if Egg is lying, because Egg just got confronted with a real concerning darkness that might come out of him if he stays with his family and he has to deal with his brother, and that's freaking him out. And if he just goes because he needs it and he knows that this is the only way that it's going to save me from this darkness, right? Even in spite of my father saying no, it's kind of Egg choosing the light over the darkness. And I kind of love that it's a decision he is making of himself, even against his father's wishes, because he knows that's what he needs. And so I'm perfectly okay with it, even if it's almost a necessary lie for him to achieve it. He needs the light, and he needs to get away from the darkness of his brother and his family. Now, what you pointed out, though, Mike, is very interesting about the ring being missing, because if you know anything about the next story, that there is context about, yes, the ring, Maekar's consent, and other things like that. And from what the book and graphic novel kind of shows is that Maekar seems to give consent reluctantly to Dunk for Egg to be his squire. And that is the needed setup for certain things in the next book. And so the concern is that is now contradicted.
Both the next books. Mr.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't read the mystery yet.
I haven't read the mystery. So the concern is that is contradicted by Egg just running off and his father Maekar not knowing, because the final scene after the kind of title comes on in conclusion is Maekar with the Targaryen royals leaving Ashford and is asking, where is Egg? Where is he? Don't know, my lord. I haven't seen him. And then it ends with, where the F is he? And then it cuts.
But there was one more after that, Shad. I don't know if you. I put it down in the studio. If you want to bring that up, I was not expecting this ending whatsoever.
What is this? Okay, no, I wasn't expecting that either. But
crossover we didn't know we needed.
Yeah, exactly.
So the changes they are pretty insane. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you just reminded me. I think maybe it was Injustice, but I snuck Dunk and Egg into I think it was one of my DC books. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one it was now. Oh, I totally forgot about that. They're in a crowd scene in one of the books.
Legend. That's awesome. So if Maekar doesn't actually know what like that Egg ran off, it could play out in a number of ways. He could reluctantly accept it, because first he doesn't know where Egg is, but then if he thinks about it, they don't show him thinking about it, but if he thinks about it, he would be able to easily figure out what Egg has done. He's obviously run off with the Hedge Knight. Fine, screw it, they can go off, but then he wouldn't have the boot. I will call it the boot if it happened without.
Yeah, but realistically, if they had done this, if he didn't know where he was, they would have sent out people everywhere to go find him.
Yes, and then they would have caught him down, have another conversation, and then he would consent, because obviously
chopped off Dunk's head.
No.
That's what I was thinking. Like, okay, so whenever it was revealed that he clearly didn't give his consent, and then Egg just ran off. I'm like, wait a minute, they're just going to hunt down Egg and Dunk, and then Dunk's going to get killed because he's like, oh, you kidnapped my son. That's the main conclusion.
No, what will happen is Egg will say, I'm sorry, I ran off again, and Dunk was like, I didn't know. He said you had your consent, and then Egg will be like, fine, look, it's not Sir Duncan's
and then
fault,
Dunk would never trust Egg again because
Dunk would just be like.
Remember how mad he was in the prison cell when he said that then Egg lied to him. Even then, Egg could have said, "I didn't lie to you. You just didn't understand."
He's got a whole year to regain the trust. The year passes. I'll get there. I'll get over it. Because what could happen?
You have as much problem with people lying as I do.
I mean, I have a problem with people lying, but I can understand the context with it happening, and people can repent.
I know, but they already built it into the character in the.
I think it's
story.
perfectly. I think Egg is capable of it. Is still a child. Is still learning.
But then they wouldn't have built it into his character that he doesn't lie, and it is in the book. He does not lie. He just skirts
obfuscates, which is lying by another name. Mike, come on, like Egg is lying effectively, and so it is within his character. Yes, he is. He's knowingly deceiving someone by avoiding the truth, right? So obviously,
he's just not answering questions.
Egg is clearly capable of deceiving people. That is in line with his character, and he just likes to try and soften it by not stating lies explicitly. But I think he's perfectly capable of it. Because I think he's capable of it. But there's a number of interpretations, right? Because if it was that Maekar didn't know, they chase him down, Dunk is innocent, and Maekar, they could easily have a flashback scene of Maekar saying, fine, you want to go with him that much, go with him, here is a boot, right? Or if what you're saying is that a certain thing is missing in that scene, what could happen is that Maekar did give his consent with the intent of finding Egg in the future. Finding Dunk in the future to present Egg as the squire, and he wasn't expecting Egg to have run off instantly. And so his surprise that Egg is missing could be real, with consent having been given, with Makar's mind thinking that Egg wasn't going to leave right away. They were going to find Dunk and do it properly. And so that could actually fit I'm perfectly fine with that. And then Makar will realize Egg was just too excited and ran off straight away after I said yes, even though he wasn't supposed to. Fine, I guess done is done. He's with Dunk now. And then the story will play out as normal in the next season. I'm okay with
it. Could be Egg's taking lying lessons from Obi-Wan. What I said was true from a certain point of view.
Yeah. So, like, there's multiple ways to address it, though, for season 2. It doesn't make me too worried. And like I said, there's a part of it that I actually love about it, which is Egg actively choosing this life over the life of royalty to escape the crap and darkness within. I kind of love that.
Or at least until an age where, he can kind of navigate it in a way that won't see him, dead long before he ever gets there. Because I think he's like seventh in line or something like that. Like,
yeah.
Multiple people in line.
Yeah, not a big expectation on Egg to be sitting on the throne, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's kind of why I think in the actual novel and graphic novel, why Makar is willing to consent. Like, Egg is not like a crucial royal that must be protected at all cost. He is loved by his father. His father doesn't want to do it, but his father also sees that this is probably the only path forward with Egg, really. Hey, I just noticed something. Your picture of Dunk here, Mike. You've caved in the helmet properly to explain the injury on the eye. I appreciate that level of detail.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you see the other one?
Him holding the sword?
Yeah, there's 2 of him like this, but the other one's more front forward.
Oh, okay, I don't think I've seen that one.
Just go to my page. You'll see it.
Your Twitter page, you mean?
Yeah.
Mike, you post a lot. You post more than me.
Astonishingly, my Dunk and Egg posts are getting a huge amount of views.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty popular series. You're the artist of the graphic novel, so
Yeah.
I've been getting like thousands of likes every time I post about it. I said it was 0% woke, and everyone got angry, and I got like 5,000, 6,000 likes on my.
It is 0% woke. Suck it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a
put it
discussion on the
I'll put it in.
degeneracy aspects that could be, interpreted as some woke elements.
All
But
right,
unfortunately,
it's in the chat. I guess I could put it in this chat.
no, that is the front on one that you're saying, is it?
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I caved in. That's where he gets hit. So
That's where he gets hit. Though the lance strike that they show in the show is way more extreme than the graphic novel and book.
yeah.
That's a death strike. That what he gets in this show. I do a fight breakdown that'll be coming out on Shadiversity this week, and yeah, that is.
That's why I thought he was going to die, because even the Maester was like, "Oh, he's going to die."
Yeah, he got that like this
that
much
makes sense.
lance into his side or gut. That's death. That's like, I'm sorry, you're not surviving that. In the graphic novel, it's like that much lance in the side of his armpit, which is survivable. But yeah, so they go more extreme.
If you click to the next picture here, that's me kind of combining Peter Claffey's Dunk with the comic book Dunk.
I love it. And I know, because that is literally the sword from the show.
Yeah.
The penny in the hilt and the cross guard. And props to whoever designed the sword. It is brilliant. It is plain, but it is a great looking long sword.
And he's got long hair for season 2.
Did you
see that?
What? He's got what?
He grew out his hair for season 2.
Yes,
Oh,
he
did
has.
he?
He has. Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. I think that was like one of the only visual differences, is that his hair was a little shorter, which is, it was not that huge of a difference to, raise a lot of concerns about.
It's
back to the injury you were talking about for a second, Shad. I will say, as someone in the medical field and has studied a lot of medical stuff extensively, like, you'd be shocked the amount of ridiculous trauma the human body can survive through. It is amazing. So I could kind of believe that, a lance to the gut, that
if there's precedent,
bad, but Hollywood does this thing where they're always like, oh, it's not right in a ridiculous vital organ. It's somewhat survivable. Anything that's not directly through the heart or the head is usually something that's borderline what's the word I'm looking for? Flesh wound. It's just a flesh wound. Although there have been instances of people that have been shot in the head, and what the prince survived, the back of his head. People that survived that, it's crazy.
Is that with modern tech? Is that with modern medicine and medical technology? Because
I was just talking to somebody.
There's a Civil War. There's a Civil War veteran who died of old age who was shot directly right here on the forehead, and he had the wound to prove it.
All right.
I knew a guy. Oh, I saw a guy at a convention once he was a World War II survivor. He survived being executed by the Germans because they had steel-coated bullets. Thing went right through both halves of his brain. Came out the other side. He obviously got knocked out and went. So they thought he was dead. They scooped him up with all the dead bodies, and he woke up later with a freaking hole in his head.
A headache. Holy crap! I mean, okay. I if they're our precedent, and this is just one of so overall, it's usually 99% of the time a lethal injury, but 1% sometimes people might be able to survive something like that. And Duncan,
that's something as a storyteller you would do very often because then it would just be he got his arm cut off, he'll be fine.
Oh yeah, the mining rod guy. I also was talking to somebody recently who I think it was their mother-in-law shot herself in the face and survived because I can't do it here, but she put the gun up under her chin, and when she pulled it, her head went back enough that it went through her mouth, through her palate, and out through the top of her nose.
All right. Okay. Overall, Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, what a friggin' brilliant ending. On balance, everything considered, I loved it. Music choices aside for the opening and ending, this might be the best adaptation I've ever seen, with some of the best medieval combat, which is very true to the book overall. We're talking 95%, accurate. It seems like, with only minor things cut out or changed, and then things added which enhance and make the story even deeper, honestly, and just flawless acting. The set work and armor and weapons, genuinely brilliant. Some of the best, not perfect, but some of the best medieval kind of stuff we've seen. This is up there with some of my best shows ever.
This is
it's really awesome.
A very important lesson for HBO to learn. Listen to George.
The guy who made it all famous in the first place. Listen to this guy.
It wasn't popular for any other reason other than George's writing. He knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He was a freaking writer. I think maybe even a showrunner for Beauty and the Beast. He's worked in Hollywood TV. The dude knows what he's doing. Just listen to the man, and you will stop having crappy shows. Yeah.
I've always been more on the side of the authors in adaptations, be true to the authors, listen to the authors. And the trend in Hollywood has usually been ignoring them and doing whatever the hell the showrunner wants.
Throwing away their scripts in the trash.
Yeah, exactly. What friggin' disrespect. And that's just been the trend for so long. But this bucks the trend. Delightfully so. And this is the man who survived being shot in the head.
Legend.
He has a hole. He has a literal hole in his head.
More of a divot than a hole, but
Yeah. Dude.
Got a place to store change,
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to season 2.
Place to put his M&Ms.
And we won't have to wait 2 years for season 2. It's
already in production. I saw that today.
Yeah, in production. Yeah. And they're casting a redhead as a redhead.
I mean, the casting has been so bang on so far.
You know that that book is on its way out when they cast a redhead to be a redhead.
Yeah,
it's a big indicator.
Maybe they just used up all their Zendaya points with the 2 Zendayas they had in this season, right? You had one in the flashback and you had the one as too tall. So they met their Zendaya quota so they can have a redhead next season.
Well,
You know what's funny is that girl.
Too Tall was supposed to look like that. Too Tall,
Yeah,
is
she's supposed to be Dornish, so dark skin.
But
That
Rafe
other
in
girl,
the flashback, that is
Rafe,
yeah.
the actress. I was looking up her biography. She identifies as white.
Oh, does she?
She's just dusky.
She's
a bit tanned. Let's call it.
I do like somebody mentioned that. Oh, this is white culture, and man, that blew up. Everyone got so angry.
But hang on.
I'm like, yeah, wait a minute.
Let's actually look at that. European medieval,
It's
like
European.
fantasy. Yes, it is actually what you would call white. It's based literally on medieval.
There's so many
history.
people doing the push-up glasses. Actually, like no, don't actually at me. This is in America. This is considered white culture.
Yes, I mean, where's the lie? This is Europe, and this is one of the more medieval accurate kind of things, and it's fantasy still, but it's more medieval accurate than medieval based movies like The Duel or there's actually a movie called Medieval, and they're still wearing dark biker leather crap, right? Where this actually has like armor that looks mostly like armor. There's some things here and there they got wrong, but mostly it's pretty good. It's still very dark and drab.
Listen to George, because he never wanted it to be like so fantasy armor. He wanted it to be based in real
history.
History, yeah.
Absolutely. And so they do show some color amongst the nobles.
Yeah. Hollywood's got their clapback though. Did y'all hear about the X-Files today?
The Y-Files?
No,
there's like a woke remake of X-Files.
Oh, really?
It's already race by Brian Coogler. They just announced the lead today. It's they got a black female lead for it.
But she's a redhead.
That's why they got a black female lead for it.
That's why, this is why, Night of Seven Kingdoms is such an outlier. Hollywood hasn't changed, all right? We're still going to get such insane woke slop, but at least we got one thing, which is, brilliant.
For now, we have it. For now.
For now, we will see about season 2. I'm hopeful for season 2. I'm really hopeful. I want it to be as good as season 1. And Ira, the showrunner, just do what you were doing in season 1, mate. Follow the source material, ignore and listen to George. Ignore everyone else.
Be a George fanboy. That's all we ask.
Yeah. But hey, let's catch up on the super chats. So James App 4989 for $5 says, praying for South Dakota tomorrow. 2 bills on abortion and a bill defining what a man and a woman is goes to the House floor for a vote. Good luck. Come on, US, you can do it. Wraith Squadron E4W for $2 says, the US has a black flying Dorito. We win.
Wait, what?
I think it's one of
in regards to the Mexican War, us versus the cartels, the stealth bomber.
The stealth bomber, yeah. I don't think the cartels could compete against Air Force. But Gumball Fan 1232 $5 says, what are your thoughts about the Odyssey coming this summer? Does the inaccurate armor bother you or not? My expectations now have turned to 0. I'm expecting nothing, and we'll see when it come out. Yeah. It looks like it's going really off the rails.
The inaccurate casting bothers me more than anything. I see some of the people that he's got on, and it seems like just the people that Christopher Nolan likes to work with the most, and he's just going to put them in the movie whether they kind of fit the role that they've been cast for or not. As for the armor, I think the armor looks cool. I don't think it looks right for the Odyssey. Maybe should have just made it a sci-fi version.
Exactly.
That armor would look...
Make it a fantasy. And you have options to choose from in history. People have tried to say, but the history stuff looks goofy and that's why you don't want to choose. It's like, no, do you know the variety of historical armor in certain periods? And even then, the slightest kind of modification, it doesn't need to be extreme, and you can make it really cool. Like Linothorax. The Linothorax is a friggin' awesome armor if you can do it right. It's like piss off that a historical armor looks.
Hold on. The Odyssey is fantasy.
Yeah, but it's based in history. It's based in Greek history.
But it's great Greek historical fantasy.
But it should be based in historical, culture is the point, and the armor should be historical. And I'm 100% on board with that. The armor that they're making is just fantasy crap, and it doesn't have really. It's worse. Troy was a mid ground between fantasy and history. It was not accurate, but at least it was more accurate than what we're getting in what looks to be from the Odyssey. I'd be fine if they just followed Troy's example, honestly. But even
I did like Troy quite a bit.
Troy, I love the movie, and the armor was like, okay, it looks cool and passable. It's not historical. Like, get someone wearing a line of thorax, man. Line of thorax is peak. And it's basically like a white breastplate. It's made out of layers of linen, so they can curve it and shape it. And if you just want to give it a breastplate and get rid of the skirt because you think the skirt looks too effeminate or something like that, give them a line of thorax breastplate, and they have muscle cuirasses, shape it to a muscular form, and you will have a friggin' like Chad cool looking set of armor that is
Chad,
far more
here's the problem
grounded.
though. You said it's a white piece of material, so they can't have that.
Oh gosh! Look. Do people know what the line of thorax is? Let me look it up.
I don't. I wouldn't mind a visualization to kind of show me what you're talking about.
Line of thorax. This is a line of thorax.
Right?
Okay, and it can look like you can shape it to conform to the body a bit more and do a bit more muscle cuirass. And if you're not sold on the skirt, you can remove the skirt. Okay, it won't be accurate, but friggin', that can look Chad as hell, look really wicked. And then if you want to up it to some bronze armor, like, look at this stuff. Come on, man. This stuff can look wicked. Like, it can look really cool done right. And we have seen worse armor than this in like fantasy. Like, look at friggin' Rings of Power.
Yeah,
the place that they have in there. Absolutely.
You know, I always wanted to do a retelling of the Book of Joshua, but like in a total fantasy setting world, because like looking back at the Assyrian armor and all, it's so bad. Just man, I hate all that old stuff.
No, some of it can look wicked, man. I'm look at the muscle cuirass. If you want to, hang on, what was I typing? It wasn't even a thing. Muscle cuirass. If you want armor that looks friggin' like, fantasy stuff, look at the friggin' muscle cuirass, man. You can make this like that is friggin' awesome. Put a hero in a muscle cuirass if you want something that looks bloody, fantasy and Chad and epic and cool. But it's like, let's do fantasy crap. But thank you for the super chat. Nathan Cassidy, 721-499, our legendary mod in the chat, says, the details escape me, but there is a weird secret cult that is a mix of Christianity shamanism and the cartels participate in. Demonic is the word. Holy Satanism? Like, the stuff comes out, like the Epstein files and other things like that. Like Satanism seems so much more prevalent, in the world than people might realize. It's like, this is getting
people once laughed at Alex Jones,
It is. It's. I think it's based on early like Mayan or Aztec mixed with Catholicism.
Yeah.
As a Christian myself, anything that really pulls away from God to me is just Satanism with different flavors.
Yeah. Well said. Wraith Squadron E4W $5 says, what did you think of the Tennessee Ernest Ford song ending it? Yeah, I mean, the ending song I was in the scene in the moment. The opening jazz, that actually did take me out. I was like, that's bad music choice.
The ending song isn't as jarring because it's an ending song, but the opening jazz was really, what the hell? What is this? What am I watching?
Yeah.
Is this a parody?
I love our idea of the lute minstrel that Lionel brought with him. I wish that could have been.
You could have the characterization for him, yeah.
I know it's perfectly in line with Lionel Baratheon, just having like a random minstrel there trying to cheer up Duncan. It's not working, and he just says, "Looks not working. Piss off. Go."
I love that he told the Meister.
Exactly. It's like he's a crap Meister. Don't listen to him. Get lost. It's like. Lionel is a great fun character, man.
Like an itchy asshole be beyond your talents.
And he says, more so the Johnny Cash version. Also, I see a lot of Robert in Lionel. Yeah, like Lionel is a Baratheon, true through and through. What Wraith Squadron E4W for $2 says Raymond is the biggest ride or die in a Game of Thrones history. Raymond is a legend, absolute legend. Wraith Squadron again $5 says Oris Baratheon was Aegon's illegitimate brother, and he took the Durandon sigil. I believe Robert Baratheon added the crown, but I could be mistaken. I mean, okay, maybe, yeah.
But
maybe
Lionel has the crown.
Aha.
So
okay. Race Squadron
maybe
again.
an oversight on their part. I kind of wonder. Maybe an oversight on their part.
Maybe.
I don't know, because George didn't say anything about it when I was drawing it, and he was really looking over everything for sigils and stuff. So,
did you add the crown or not?
Yeah.
Huh? Okay, so
not an oversight.
Okay, well, then that must be official. Yeah. Wraith Squadron again for $10 says, I believe Dunk died in the trial and the gods revived him. They did say that the 7 champions would make it more likely for the gods to intervene, and it explains why he survived the wounds he got. Well, the theory is that the 7 are the actual fake religion because they don't cause actual miracles or magical effects, and the miracles and magical effects are from like the old gods and other things like that. I don't know enough of the lore to say one or the other, but I prefer the 7 because they're more traditional and orthodox, I guess, and they have more mercy and concepts.
Yeah, the 7 is more based on Catholicism than
exactly. So I would side with the 7, but I don't know if they are actually real in universe or not.
Also, all the beatings he got in the show were not what he got in the book.
No, but like it added a new dynamic. I love the get up kind of message that's now becoming, people are using that
as a motivation,
like get up thing as motivation, as a meme now. That's caught on, and that's great. I love to see it. Yes, but so look, it's an interesting thought because Dunk did he obviously passed out, but mate, did he die? If the 7 are real, that would be a cool kind of interpretation. Xavier Savior Hart 3331 for $2. Good to see you, mate. Says, g'day. Who's ready to buy Horseman number 3? I am. Looks like John is.
That's why I broke out the Horseman merch today, because I am ready and steady. It's the for those who don't know, the Horseman is the Rippaverse's version of the Punisher, and he is written by one of the Punisher's better writers, Chuck Dixon. So it's really scratches that Punisher itch you're not getting from Marvel Comics these days, because these days Marvel Comics just want the Punisher to sit there and cry about cops and soldiers wearing his symbol and boohoo, and they really don't want a solid vigilante that a conservative person could latch onto, and they keep trying to nerf him or do away with him, and it's just not going to work. Marvel, just give us the Punisher we want, and if you want something that scratches that, the Horseman is a really good facsimile and is a great character in his own right.
I think one of the storylines they liked for the Punisher, the modern Marvel, was they had his wife come back to life, and the gods or whatever showed her all the things that Frank Castle's been doing, and she goes off to go kill him because how dare you kill all these horrible criminals, Frank, in our names? Like, show me everything my husband's doing in my name. Like, what a bitch! I'm Frank Castle dodged a bullet, her getting murdered.
Marvel is awful. I can't stand what they're doing.
My wife would have picked up the gun and joined the fight.
That's what a real wife would do, right? But no, they had like Punisher's wife. He did all this crap for them. They had her just go, let me go kill my husband. And she kills the Punisher in the end. And she goes off to start a new life and stuff like that because she killed her evil husband.
Oh my gosh.
Because he had the audacity to go kill evil bad guys and sadists and rapists. I've read the Punisher. I know what kind of bad guys he kills. And she's like, she gets upset that he's killing these guys. These are horrible people. There's not just like mobsters. I mean, these are like psychos and sadists.
I know.
He's horrifying people.
He's like ice.
And it's kind of like the Mexican president saying that we can't fight the cartels. That would violate their human rights.
Civil rights. Like, what? What do you mean? They're criminals.
Will someone think of the criminals?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's usually the battle cry.
When they become a psychopathic murderer, they don't deserve human rights at that point. All right.
They've already killed people. Like they've given away their right to like live free. They have to be charged. They have to be taken down.
Yeah. But what are you looking at? 231 for 499 says, I really hope to see Ares the first, I think, and Rhaegal come the next couple of season. The two forgotten brothers. A Daeron the good scene wouldn't hurt either. I don't know enough of the lore. But
what about, wasn't Aemon Targaryen the one who was the old maester from the Wall in the original Game of Thrones? Wasn't he one of Egg's brothers, if I'm
Egg's
not mistaken?
older brother, third youngest older brother to Egg. Yeah.
I wonder if they'll throw him in.
Possibly, but I mean, only in flashbacks. Not, like the next book is very self-contained in a more secluded part of the kingdoms. Great story, but not a lot of room for external people to come in and get involved. So if they do it, it'll be through flashbacks. But I have the third one I don't know enough about to comment on. Wave Squadron for $2 says, Maker is my last son. Aemon Maester sounds. Yeah, like giving up on Aemon. Wave Squadron for $5 says, a man was using a mining rod back in the 1800s and it got blown up through his head and he lived. And look, it's true.
It's stuck.
Yeah, people have survived insane things. You got me. Nathan Cassidy,
it's not the norm. It's not like everyone.
It's not the norm. These are 99% of the time they die from things like that. And if you were going off the odds,
suggesting it,
Dunk would be dead. Is the point? Yeah. Nathan Cassidy 721 499 says, look up the story of Iron Mike, a story of the Great Depression, a man who found himself in life insurance scam. All right, might give that a look. I'm assuming that it's about someone who survived something that should have killed him. Is the context I'm guessing from that. So that'll be interesting. I'll look it up. Mario Chihilio 8860 $5 says, there's a thing called internal decapitation. Remember, gents, fiction has to make sense. Real life has no such restrictions.
I always like the advice, show the impossible, not the improbable.
Well, sometimes, no joke, sometimes what happens in real life is more unbelievable. Like the movie Hacksaw Ridge, phenomenal film, Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson. And Mel Gibson said there were some things that this is the actual historical accounts. This real happened. Some of the things in the real life account was so miraculous and unbelievable. They chose not to add it in the film because they felt it would have made it look too magic, too unrealistic,
too impossible.
Because miracles happen. Miracles actually do happen. God is real. Mm-hmm. And Hacksaw Ridge is just the account of what actually happened is just truly like an awe-inspiring, miraculous thing, like what happened, and a Christian thing. It's about I forget his name, but the man who went to World War II as a medic and refused to hold a gun because he didn't want to, take anyone's life, and saved many men's lives by running into the thick of combat under the hail of bullets after the Americans had to withdraw from the ridge, and just found injured men and carried them to safety. It is a powerful story and film, and what a true hero. So yes, this is true about reality sometimes being more unbelievable than fiction. Wallayamuna again, legend. When is the Night's Watch comprehensive recommend good media watch list going to be released? Well, there is a playlist of things that are good, and you can check it out. And yeah, like any review that we praise, I try to put on that watch list, and you can see all the things that are good. So there's kind of that. But thank you, sir. And
like Joker too.
Lit Devil have his own list.
Please pay no attention to Lit Dev's list.
The thing is, I will credit Lit Dev. He's able to hold his own. He's able to validate his reasons, and so it's always worth listening to. Golden Reaper for $2 says Mexican president is either scaridor, corrupt, or both. Yeah.
I mean, her election was like amidst like how many assassinations?
Over 100.
There's a lot of assassinations to get her to presidency.
Know, right. They should call her the unlikely, like Egg. Wraith Squadron for $2 says, High Glass is a great show of what can be survived. Or Hugh Glass, I guess. Hugh Glass is a great show of what can be survived. Interesting. All right. But oh man, what a great show. And I had such a fun time just geeking out with you guys about it. But we have come to an end of another Culture Crusade. And as we wrap up, John, anything you want to mention as we say goodbye?
The Lionheart is off to the editor. I'm working on blurb and cover reveal hopefully very shortly. In the meantime, getting to work on a lot of other things and fixing a lot of infrastructure issues that I've had for quite some time. But glad to be done with that part of it. Just waiting to hear back from my editor now. So good stuff coming shortly, hopefully.
Awesome. And Lit Dev, anything you want to mention?
Just like the usual stream, every weekday, have a cool stream in the morning. Morning nonsense, go over nonsense. Friday, though, was a little bit different. Friday, usually Weeb Day, go over anime stuff.
Nice. Watch any good new anime? Have you checked out?
I watched the entirety of the one you mentioned.
Mushoku Tensei?
No, Overly Cautious Hero.
Overly Cautious Hero.
I thought that one was. I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, at first I thought it was kind of cheesy, but then it grew on me after a while.
It does. It grows. Like his attitude actually is humorous, especially that like. There's a moment where he just starts slapping a girl who's getting in his face, and they're all freaking out.
Just ruthless. It's not just like a quick little. It's like boom, 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 boom.
And he's like, she's trying to attack me. I'm just standing there. I said, stop it!
I just defend myself.
It's actually
every time she starts freaking out and stuff like that. She's just like boom, 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 boom. Relentless and ruthless.
Yeah. Overly Cautious Hero is fun.
It was kind of. I was thinking it was kind of refreshing. Like where he encounters this beautiful goddess. He's like, "Go get out of here, thought. I need."
Yeah. His base is a base character, and so I got quite a bit of humor out of Overly Cautious Hero. I was actually an anime that you don't want to take it seriously in terms of all the power scaling because it's off the wall. Even though like they reveal some interesting stuff at the end about him reaching his limits and things, but it lands the humor. It lands the humor in Overly Cautious Hero. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on Mushoku Tensei, Dev.
I've not started watching that one, although it was recommended to me soon after. I think so. I might give it a try.
It's a we could do just like a whole stream on Mushoku Tensei because it's
a friend of mine watched it. And he said it was excellent. So
it has a lot of excellent parts. There's weird things, and it's just like, what are you supposed to think about some of these things? But the actual depth that goes into psychology and trauma is actually kind of impressive. It's like, okay, wow. All right, hey Mike, anything you want to mention as we signing off?
Well, if you have a lot of money and you want some original art, you can. I've been, like I said, taking some of the original pages from Hedge Knight and filling in because, like, I did this as production art, so I just put black. You put an X where you want the inker to black it in. But I've been going in and I've been touching it up and I've been actually filling up all the blacks so it's presentable. Sold a couple of those on eBay this week. That was nice.
Nice.
I also put up a couple of these. I have I think I have 2 more of these and like 6 more of these. Those are on eBay. I've been doing some originals.
That's cool.
You can come commission these from me. Hit me up on Twitter or Instagram, Mike S. Miller Art. Or I'll be doing them on Whatnot. These started around $3.25, just for a single character, no background, stuff like that. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Mike S. Miller Art. Look me up anywhere, and you'll find me.
Mike's a real one. He's like a real comic book artist. He's still pumping out great art, still open for commissions for people to get access to, and he has original art for sale. So guys, seriously, get some awesome stuff. Mike is a real one. Last super chat came in, Golden Reaper for $2 fares. Also, did you see the cringe Spartacus House of Asher? No, and I do not want to.
Also, I saw this is the thing I'm most bummed about them not using from my
that
work.
Scene, yeah.
This if they'd have just found a way to have like Dunk lean on his thing with Thunder, because this like to me encapsulates the whole story.
It's a great picture, man.
Would have been a great moment to steal.
All righty. Well, wrapping up. Thank you, everyone, for joining a Culture Crusade. I've loved just geeking out. Appreciate everyone who's joined us and the supporters and the super chats. We hope to see you next time. So, as always, stay on watch. And